Good evening. Welcome back to Raising Awareness. I'm your host, DJ Dizzy.
I'm Jay Antonio.
Ralph Nervous.
And we're back to finish our discussion about suicide.
We're going to be talking about some of the stories and some of the people that have been affected by suicide. We know that suicide impacts a multitude of people when someone decides to take their life.
As a father, as a brother, as a son, many of us there have been people who have taken their lives and are missing, and we also want to lend this show for if anyone wants to talk about their loved ones also who they missed. There are people who want to hear these kind of things from them to know that they'll be okay.
Yeah, and I think there's a good point that you're making there. Missing is really a key word. When you come into a house like this and it's filled with history, you have your grandma and your grandpa. This is when my grandfather died a few years ago. He had a special chair that he sat in, which grandpa doesn't, right? And he was missing from that chair. He was no longer there, and so it really leaves a hole in the heart. And Grandpa, he died at a reasonable age, and we don't want anybody to die. We wish they could live forever. But he lived a full life. With suicide, a lot of suicide takes place amongst teenagers. And that is a whole life that is lost. Years and years of life that is lost.
And then parents with kids. We're reading about the comedian
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, of course, and leaving his family. There was other gentleman who his wife killed him, then she killed herself. Phil Hartman's wife.
That's right.
Another suicide is a different type. His kids were young and lost both parents by. I'm sure we're talking about suicide has a lot to do with mental disorder also. Mm-hmm. There's something not right, and that obviously she was on drugs and it made her do those kinds of things.
And that's another example. Again, the drugs or whatever is mental, because I remember years ago the wrestling guy Chris Benoit. They found him and his whole family died. Well, they found out that he had murdered his family, the kids and the wife, and then committed suicide himself. So suicide just doesn't take place a lot on themselves. It destroys the whole family, and that's a lot of the seriousness of what's building up inside for a person to think about that, and that's why we're here to bring this out so we can see about discussing how we can help or other people can actually help each other on this awareness.
Listening, Robin Williams. We're talking about the comedian Robin Williams. Tears of a Clown. There's a lot of the putting a mask on and living through life. Keep it on the entertainer side. Kurt Cobain, one of the greats. But his lyrics were talking how sad he was, but no, people were just dancing to it or whatever, and they weren't listening
to it.
They, and like I said, a lot of the greats, even through another form of suicide, is just ODing in itself. Mm-hmm. There's plenty. Philip Seymour Hoffman. A lot of people kill themselves in a lot of different ways, and they're on TV and they're this or that, but we're here to talk about the people, our friends, our family, who are local or close by or whatever, our community is in general.
Well, there's a lot of issues out there. People smile and put a good front, out there in front of other people, but then when they go home by themselves, closed doors, you don't really know how they're feeling. And sometimes we're not looking at the signs of when people are actually talking and certain things, and they think you're understanding, but you just kind of turn away and have another drink or whatever, but you're not getting what they're telling you. It's like they're crying out for help in a way that you're not getting. And that's points that people should know, and we should kind of pinpoint what to look for if we find those out and share that with the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we just look at the theme of the show, which is raising awareness, we're doing that in a way that it's, out there. But there's also another type of awareness. There's awareness within yourself. Start noticing thoughts that you're having within yourself to if these thoughts are negative, if you're having persistent negative thoughts, like I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, those negative thoughts will start to build up, and it could drive you to the point where you feel like you want to die. Some of the thoughts too are of not being loved, not feeling loved from your family or your parents. As a race of humans, we have the ability to give love to one another, and it can happen between me and an absolute stranger. All it takes is a genuine, how are you doing today? So we really want to use the show so that we can start spreading that out there to the community, to not only self-reflect, but also to connect with your fellow man. We need more of that in this digital age in which we are constantly on our cell phones, constantly on computer. Go to a line at Stater Brothers and try and talk to somebody. Hey, how's your day doing?
And if anything on this show that you want help with, or anywhere around the world, wherever this video goes and sees, feel free to call in or call that hotline number. Again, it's 1-800-273-TALK, 8255, or the suicide.org, and express. Let others try to help you. There's a lot of people, counselors, there's probably teachers, some, even your parents might be able to help. But if you want to express, like I said, there's a lot within teens. When my daughter was going to school, and there's a lot of teens that are going through a lot of issues, and sometimes when they're going through a split of parents and household, they kind of think it's their fault, so mentally, it kind of gets with them. But those are the pinpoints that that people should look out for.
It's way different now. It was common back in the day when we were growing up that there was divided families. Now it's like there's probably multiple babies from different dads in one home. So there's no way to identify with yourself, to know you, and the parents probably too busy to take care of all the kids, so you're not developing any kind of skills. You know what I'm saying? They're pushed off into the school system. Well, all I'm saying is there's many different ways these kids aren't connecting, or they have no God or no parents, or they're raising themselves. So it's probably. And there's a lot of them that went off and murdered also. There's different ways that people, some of the school shootings killed all the whole school, and he ended up turning the gun on himself. These kids are crying out for help, and a lot of people, we're not listening.
Yeah.
And really, what it is, it's a cry for some type of. They want hope in their life.
Yeah.
They want to believe that, things are going to turn out best for them, that they're going to have a purpose, that they have something to believe in. When you don't have that purpose or that goal that you can reach out to or reach out for, then you can start to lose hope. You can start going into that pit of despair. That's kind of what I call it for myself, the pit. And once you get in the pit, it's hard to get out of it, because you keep drowning in self-loathing, you keep drowning in depression, keep drowning in the darkness. I just wanted to bring out a story about my cousin. He was 18 years old, and he was a well-loved kid. He was a skater, well known around here in Colton, and I spent a lot of time with him before he passed, and we hung out and had good times. And then the night before he killed himself, he called me. I said, "Hey, how you doing? How you feeling?" He said, "Hey, I'm feeling a lot better. Things seem to be going good." And I go, "All right, man. I'm glad to hear that," because he was depressed, and he was suffering from some mental disorders. And he was covering over that with abuse of drugs, and that wasn't helping. But it seemed like he was making progress. But all it takes is one bad moment for all the work that had been put into trying to build his character back up again, to feel good about himself, to remind him of all the darkness that basically got and overreached him. He ended up hanging himself. and dying at such a young age, and it was really sad. He had lost hope that anything was ever going to change for him, and his darkness overtook him. And basically, when you commit suicide, it's a therapy, believe it or not. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but for the person, it's their escape route. It's their escape from the pain and the suffering that's going on deep within them. They don't want to deal with it no more. Pain's not, painkillers can't get rid of it. Antidepressants can't get rid of it. Drugs, alcohol, nothing can get rid of it. And so they take their lives. And ultimately for him, that's what he ended up doing, was taking his life.
Let me bring up about him also, that very creative, above and beyond skater, awesome artist. I'd be able to start meeting him again as a older cousin at that time. And when I remember playing that jam for him, and he was interested in the music and in complimenting me, and we're complimenting each other on what we could do with his artistry and music. And he had smiles, and there was hope, and quickly it could change. Do you know what I'm saying? It's hope is even temporary, and I miss him dearly and what he could have been, and I can't even count how many years it's been already.
Yeah, the years have gone by so fast since he died, and we were talking about something earlier when you said missing. When we passed by the house that he used to live in, he's missing from that house. He's missing
no family dinners.
No family dinners. Well, we just had Thanksgiving. He's gone. He's not there, and it's definitely an absence that's felt. So it is important then to remember hope. Hold on to hope, because hope is something that can go away, like you brought out. Yeah.
It's that talk about to believe in that smile again, and I definitely believe surround yourself with others. He was surrounding himself with you and me. We show him a different life. We were ambitious. We're always trying, and he wanted to nurture and to be that kind of man too. He was very, like I said, super talented and super smart. So, and I remember him smiling, and I remember him laughing, and that's the things we have to. It has to be pure like that. We have to. Love generates the heart. Love could have given him hope.
Well, and that's the thing, is that people need to know that there is a hope out there, but they've lost so much faith. But there is hope still, and they just got to find it on the inside. I had a friend years ago when we went out, and he was having troubles with his girl, and he thought, I know we were out drinking. Okay, this was a lot of years ago.
Well, let's talk about that story on the next segment, so we'll give you your full time.
Okay, cool. So right now, again, we're talking about suicide, and the number to call, again, is the Suicide Hotline Watch is 1-800-273-8255. It is 24/7. It's confidential. They're here for you when you need it. Also online at suicide.org for you guys, no matter what.
We'll be back with some more stories from the emails we got and your friend.
We'll be right back.